Hey, how you doing? This is Sejihito here to bring you some more clips. It is currently 11:01 a.m., 1/8/2024. So I got a few clips, but the first one that I want to bring to you um, is a bit of a warning for a lot of women directly out there. Um, to be cautious and to be very careful of the individuals that you decide to hook up or meet up with. And, to try to let people know that sometimes if you go after money, you may find demons when chasing said money. So let's get into the video.
I don't remember coming home. I know straight don't remember coming home, cuz. I don't remember coming home. I remember coming in the door. I straight slept on the floor. I don't remember none of this shit. I got a whole bed. Why am I on the floor? That's why I don't go nowhere, cuz I swear to God, it be these niggas y'all like. Y'all straight like. Y'all think that nigga is like motherfuckers be on that. Motherfuckers do not be on that, cuz look. You only end up like this, like leave these niggas alone. Look at my teeth. I am.
They don't give a fuck.
And who thought that was laughing? Look at my teeth. What you said there, like I straight got an orch in my mouth, cuz. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, motherfuckers think shit cool. And it's not. A motherfucker straight drugged me last night. And if it's that serious about some pussy, cuz I straight wouldn't want it. You straight have to drug me. When I say I don't feel, I'm still fucked up. I'm still fucked up. You hear me, cuz? I'm straight still fucked up. I do not remember anything, and I don't like that. I straight don't like that. Then, nigga, you gonna keep my phone? Why the fuck is you keeping my phone for? What is you keeping my phone for? Look at my lip, y'all. And then you straight bring me home and not to no hospital, nigga. That's how I know you did something to me. I don't even remember nothing, y'all. I remember when we first got together. I wasn't even supposed to be.
Now, I will say this, and again, this is, not trying to victim shame or anything like that. The main thing that I would tell a lot of women out here is if anything like this happens, the immediate thing that you should do is go directly to the police. You should go directly to the hospital so that any type of kits or a report can be done in order to substantiate the claims that are being made at this moment in time, so that there is a record as well of the things that took place along with evidence, so that any type of prosecution can take place. Uh, like I said, I don't really understand why one would decide to go directly to the internet first, because she stated herself, she was like, if you did this to me, then, why wouldn't you, drop me off at the police or, different things of that nature. If a guy, as she stated, did drug her and do things specifically to her, he's not going to drop you off at the police. He's going to drop you off directly at your associates, your friends, your family's house, and whatnot and whatever. To expect somebody who you stated drugged you and did other things to you, to expect them to drop you off at the police makes zero sense. But let's continue.
With this man, I'm straight duck Cusco just to go with him on my kids. I straight ducked him because the nigga, I ain't gonna lie, when I met him on the boat, the nigga was trying to spend. I ain't gonna lie, the nigga was trying to spend some money. And I don't fuck with broke niggas, so I just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't think nobody would do that to me. Like, me, I'm the life of the party. You don't gotta drug me. Like, for real, what the fuck are you drugging me for? Look at my teeth, and then I fell on my teeth. You wouldn't take me to the hospital. Y'all people would say sick as a motherfucker, bro. Like, he look worse as a motherfucker. Why y'all don't fuck with this man? The fuck? Look how he disappeared when you. Then he added me on Facebook, y'all. This is how I know this man put something in my drink. First of all, I never get drunk to where I can't remember nothing. And you already know this. We didn't got that shit established. Why the fuck? My lashes gone. I got makeup in my pants. You blocked me and my phone is gone. I made sure I had my phone with me the whole night and my shit was charged. I don't even remember me even calling you, bro. I don't remember nothing. Who was the nigga set him out? It say call the police, girl. Praying for you, y'all. Thank everybody. Thank everybody. I swear to God. What's dude name? His name Nino. And I didn't even look at his Facebook name. What's dude name? His name Nino. We went to 922, y'all. Look, our first place was.
Now I want to go back to something, because in that video I heard her state that she fell on her teeth. Let me see if I can go back real quick.
And I don't fuck with broke niggas, so I just like.
Well, okay. So since I went back that far, let me just, and this is why I said what I said at the beginning. Again, I ain't trying to sit up there and shame a victim if this is basically the case. But she stated that she met up with a guy. She don't even know his full legal name. Not even sure how long they talked. They met up at a party. She was more than likely drinking. She also stated that she is the life of the party. She also stated that she met up with the guy because he wanted to spend, aka spend money on her. So there's a whole variety of things directly in here. And the main thing that I've told women before is that if you're going to decide to go into that line of work, you got to understand that there are going to be certain consequences. There are going to be certain things that just may take place. And one of those things that may take place is an example such as this. You're meeting up with a random guy. Again, I've told women before, like, hey, if you're going to go out there and you're going to party, make sure that you got friends. Go out there in a group. Make sure you got some type of security code. Make sure everybody knows everybody. But again, you have a lot of women like this who decide to go out and they don't take any type of precautions. They just think that they're invincible. They just think that nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing's going to happen. But yet she's stating that she was drugged and she's stating that other things took place. So let me see if I can play this a little bit and see if I can get to the one part that I heard.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't think nobody would do that to me. Like, me, I'm the life of the party. You don't gotta drug me. Like, for real, what the fuck are you drugging me for? Look at my teeth, and then I fell on my teeth. You wouldn't take me to the hospital?
Okay. Now, when we listened to the first video, she made it seem as though the guy, now I can't speak on, her being drugged or not. I don't know. That is what she is stating. But originally she made it seem as though that her lip and her teeth were that way because of the guy. But she just clearly stated that she can't remember anything from last night. But yet she just stated to us that, oh, I fell, directly on my face, directly on my teeth. And, look at me. So which one is it? Did you end up that way because the guy that you're talking about, Nino, he drugged you and other things happened and, this is why your face looks like that? Or are you stating that your face looks like this because, as you stated in the second video, that you fell? And then you're stating that you expected him to take you directly to the police. Again, I'm a little bit confused. This is why I tell people, I can't really believe a lot of the stories that I happen to hear because there's a lot of contradiction that takes place. And like I said, I don't know. I wish her well. If everything that she says that happened did happen, then by all means, she needs to go directly to the police. She needs to go get a kit done. She needs to go search for the Facebook, get his actual name. There needs to be, evidence. There needs to be some things that needs to transpire and take place. If something like this did happen, it makes no sense to go directly on social media to talk about it and, get views and all this other type of stuff up versus doing the normal thing and then getting the other side of the story, which is getting another person, allowing them to talk directly to the police so that, both sides are basically spoken for, and then the detectives or whoever can come to a conclusion on what specifically happened. And then not only that, you could more than likely get some eyewitnesses that might have been at the party. But again, that's going to become a problem because she didn't say that she went there with friends. She didn't state that she had another girl directly there with her. She herself met up with this guy. And again, I told him before, like, hey, um, that's a little bit reckless. It's a little bit dangerous for you to meet up with a whole other person and you don't know anything about this person at all, because anything can and will happen, both good and bad, or whatever's in the middle. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully something pans out. I don't really know what to sit up there and tell people. The only thing I can just tell a lot of women out here is that you just need to be very, very careful, and you need to be a lot smarter about your decisions. And just because a guy flashes money doesn't mean that it's good money. It just doesn't. And, a lot of, women out here are learning that lesson, and some of them are paying with their lives. And, hopefully other women out here will start to get through and to talk to a lot of these young girls and let them know, a lot of the tales of women who can't, no longer tell any tales, or women that are around that have gone through something, potentially so horrendous that they can't even speak for themselves. Somebody else has to tell that story and let another young girl, know those lessons so that she does not, have to know those lessons. But, it's tough. So now, I want to move over to the whole thing that I talked about with you guys about a day or two ago, which dealt with Cat Williams and Steve Harvey burning Mack. And I felt like this one was actually pretty interesting, right? So anyways, let's just get directly into that.
And I know the truth.
So I keep getting lots of contact about my thoughts on the Cat Williams.
So this is Bernie Mac's daughter, just to let y'all know.
Interview heard round the world, and I don't know, my take is probably going to be really, really boring. Number one, I want people to keep in mind, my dad has been dead for 15 years, so I have not been fully immersed in the world of comedy. I don't know the ins and outs.
What's up, Anthony? And
like that anymore, because my end has been gone for 15 years. I've got friends in the game, but we don't sit and talk about, stuff like that. So, I don't know Cat Williams. Never met him. That's one person I never did get to meet when my dad was alive. But from everything that I've ever heard my dad, say, he's always seemed like a stand-up dude. So I have no qualms, no quarrels with him.
Shout out to Pink.
I thought the interview was hilarious, entertaining. That man dropped so many one-liners that I'm sure we are going to be wearing down to the ground in this year of our Lord 2024. But one of my biggest takeaways in watching people's responses was how people were kind of like, oh, that's kind of sad, like outside of being, tickled by it. And I've seen people say stuff like, it's like watching, your uncles go at it and you're like, oh, why can't we all just get along? Well, I mean, because everybody doesn't get along. Like, I think that's one of the misconceptions about comedians, and I guess it's due to the fact that what they do brings so much joy to others, that the perception, the expectation is that behind closed doors, everybody gets along, everybody it's love. And no, it's not. They've always been competitive. It's always been, as far as I've ever witnessed in watching my dad, it's always been kind of cutthroat. Like, you'll have, people beefing, like, same as within your family. Just because y'all related don't mean y'all all get along, right? Comedy's no different. But for me, Cat Williams has my utmost appreciation and respect for giving my dad his props and his flowers. And I felt like it was genuine. There are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead, that I'm looking at like, And doggone well, he wasn't doing that when he was alive. And that, not just famous people, just people all across the board. As my dad used to say, you ever want to be loved by everybody? You ever want to be special? Just die. It's real easy to give lip service when somebody dies and they were so wonderful. And that's not how you felt when they were alive. But when Kat spoke of my dad, for me, I felt his heart. I felt that it was genuine, and I appreciate it. Again, it's been 15 years since my dad's been dead. If you follow me at all, I've said this repeatedly. Like, it does my heart good to know that my dad was a stand-up guy, that the man that I knew him to be was who he actually was to people, because that's the thing. Like, we can love people and think they one way and then find out later. No. And I say, like, in 15 years, if he was an asshole, somebody by now would have been like, let me tell you about that mother. So that is not the case with my dad. Makes me so proud, and I just really appreciate what I believe the genuine love and respect that Cat Williams showed my father. It is so much appreciated. Much love and mad props to Cat Williams. I would love to sit down and just have a conversation with Cat Williams, because I think that is probably be the most entertaining and gem dropping conversation I probably would have in my life outside of conversations with my dad. So yeah, so that's my take. Like I said, probably boring, but that's what I thought. Again, much love and respect to Cat Williams.
So again, that was Bernie Mac's daughter speaking specifically on what it is that Kat was stating. And one of the things, if you go online and you happen to look up certain things, you go back to, what was it, Ocean's 11, whichever Ocean's movie it was where Bernie Mac was, it was stated that Steve Harvey went in and tried to undercut Bernie Mac and snatch the role. He was willing to do it for less. And word got back to Bernie Mac, and this is why the friendship was no longer. This is why you didn't have the Kings of, comedy tour and, stuff like that. I felt as though, she more than likely broadened the specifics of the people that don't like her father, just to, not really point any fingers, even though people know who it is that, she's talking about. And, like I said, there's a lot of things out here that are taking place where people are still putting out stories about how genuine and how generous and caring Cat Williams is as a person. Again, this is the first time ever in my life where I'm seeing a person that makes a statement, and, well, comedian wise, and you have all of these people from out of nowhere wanting to hurry up and make a response instantly. Like the content, didn't even cool before people were just ready to give a response and make a statement and all of these other things that were going on. I'm like, people don't find this weird? Out of all of the stuff, out of all of the negative stuff that people have ever said about these celebrities online, you never heard any of these celebrity comedians try to take a stance, try to automatically come out instantly with a response. They almost came out quicker than Diddy did when the Cassie lawsuit appeared. That's how quick they came out, but people ain't paying attention. So, like I said before, there's obviously some things there. There's obviously some truths there. And, a lot of people really don't want to, focus in on that. You got videos out here. You had Kevin Hart trying to make fun of Cat, and he was trying to make fun of him running. And you got videos of Cat running. He is clearly running like damn near like a 4.4. Like he is running. Like he is in a gym. Like that dude was out of there. So I'm like, I guess the next thing that Cat has to do is to prove to people that he's able to read 3,000 books. I don't know why people think that things like that are impossible, or that it just doesn't make any type. Like, you have people out here that do actually like to read. Like, I'm not understanding. Look at some of these Harry Potter books. Those things are thick. Like, they're looking like Bibles. And then you're not just talking about one book, you're talking about a multitude of books. And then you have other books out there that are I was gonna say like, yeah, technically in like the realm of fantasy, like Dungeons and Dragons and and stuff like that, like very thick books. So it's like it's amazing to me where people are like, I can't conceive, somebody reading 3,000 books. Like that's preposterous. That's ridiculous. Like who does that? Maybe not you, because maybe you don't like reading. Some people are allergic to reading. They just want cliff notes of certain things. That's cool. But again, you have some people that do, and then you have some people that don't, and you have some people that can't. So, just putting that directly out there. But again, I this is my first time ever seeing Bernie Mac's daughter and ever seeing her speak on social media, at least from my point of view, and that speaks volumes. That she is speaking up for Cat Williams and also speaking up for her father as well. And also mentioning the fact that, Cat stood, on 10 for my dad because of the things that were specifically taking place. And like I said, it says a lot. I can't list you any of these other comedians where people are automatically coming out in droves trying to defend a Cedric, a Steve Harvey, or any of the other ones out here. Never seen it. And yet again, you've had a lot of stories about these celebrities in the media or certain things stated about these celebrities in the media. But nobody has ever run to their defense instantly. Just saying, this thing that I think that some people should, look at. Right. So the next thing, actually, I could take the bottom one down because we already went over the video. So the next one that we can go to, since we're dealing with individuals that want to tell a specific truth, I want y'all to look at this video I had just put together for you guys here.
No, my husband did nothing wrong, but none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus. All of y'all said privately, I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen, the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game, but let me tell you what the game is before the money game.
Like
before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
For $4 million, I'll be all the motherfucking monkey you can stand. Black people will be so embarrassed by my motherfucking performance, you'll be sitting up there just going, look at this big lip son of a bitch. You ain't got to act like that much of a motherfucking monkey. Be picking shit off me looking at it. Be walking around that mother. I be digging in my ass. Motherfucker, for 10 million, kiss my ass. Motherfucker, I am a monkey. Motherfucker, I swing in on the vine to work.
And wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement.
So he just told you what it was. He just told you what it is that he is willing to sacrifice in the face of his so-called friend who is bearing all and telling the truth so that things can get fixed, so something can be done, so her name can stop being smeared. He was like, yo, I don't care what it is that you're going through. I get that you want to do the right thing. And he told her, like, I get that you want to do the right thing, but that's the wrong thing to do. We in a money game. Everything is about money. What did Steve Harvey sit up there and tell you previously by the act that he did? For $4 million, I'll do a little bit of something. Oh, for $10 million, I'll be whatever you want me to be. And look at where Steve Harvey is now. Look at how much money that he's sitting up there getting. So he basically told you that he's willing to sacrifice his integrity, his pride, all of that just for a little bit of money. And he's going to hide that behind, oh, I'm doing this for everybody else. I'm doing this for the people that work for me. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my wife. I'm doing this so that everything around me don't crumble. He told you what it was. This is a celebrity. He told you that he sacrificed a piece of him in order to get that money. He did that. Again, this is not me paraphrasing. We saw the clips. We saw him have the conversation with Monique. And Monique, during that time, she was calling out Oprah. Was it Tyler Perry? What's the other dude's name that you don't hear nothing about right now? I forgot his name. It's another guy that was there. That's with all of them. But she was calling everybody out. And as she stated, everybody just stood by and just watched. Thank you, Midwest Lee Daniels. Yo, Kevin S. What is up? What is up? Yeah, it was Lee Daniels calling out everybody. And nobody stood up for it. Even on that show, like, and people don't understand that Monique, she was talking to Steve. She didn't care nothing about that audience. She didn't care nothing about the people probably talking in his ear or whatever. She didn't care nothing about none of that. She was like, we're having this conversation right now. This is a conversation between me and you. Everybody else is just here viewing it. They're just here just because this is where it had to, happen. And I'm guessing that she thought that she could potentially try to get through to him and through to a lot of other people, but obviously not. Because whenever Steve was saying something, you magically heard the audience clapping. I'm not sure if that was the normal general, clap that they do for a lot of these shows, or if that was the audience actually agreeing with what it is that Steve was saying. Any which way, it was bad. Because I'm like, you can't sit up there and try to tell me that it's magically money or sacrificing whatever over any and everything. As Cass said, this is why people believe in sacrificial rituals, where somebody has to give up something or someone in order to go up to that next level, in order to go through that door, in order to get the money and the fame and the power that they want. And again, like most people say, with all of the power and the things that you want, you have to give up something. It comes at a cost. So, like I said, it is what it is. Midwest said, I remember it took Dame Dash to putting him on blast at that Diana Ross. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I think I might have played a clip of that during a live stream. That was like like a year or so ago, but I remember that. That was a good one. Like I said, I respect him for that because he's like, yo, I need my money. He's like, yo, run me my money. Some people are like, yo, you could have handled this, different. No, if somebody is ducking and dodging you and they're not trying to pay you, I think it was like what? Was it in the millions, like $1 or $2 million or something like that? Like he fronted him for a film and this dude been doing like several whatever films and he never got or tried to pay that money back to like, yo, that's crazy. You're not about to be keep ducking and dodging. Yo, we just going to catch you where you at. And like I said, Lee Daniels is lucky because if this was the early 2000s, if this was the 90s, if this was like the 80s, it would be a problem. You probably wouldn't see that man ever again. Like I said, a lot of people out here, they serious about money. You can't be mucking around with people money like that. You can't be trying to skate around the state, trying to show off you a big shot, but you rolling on somebody else's dime. It's like that don't make no sense. Like everybody can see the ticket sales, everybody can see how popular your movies are. Yo, you making millions out here. Give him back his money. Like I said, I guess, certain people understand once they, loan or give somebody a certain type of money that is supposed to come right back. Because like I said, a lot of people don't happen to understand it. But it is what it is. So this is going to be a different one here. Because wait, what Pink said? Pink said people need to be like 50 when it comes to his money back from people. Yeah. Like I said, I respect that. Don't let people sit up there and play with your money. And don't let people sit up there and play with you. See, the real disrespectful part, I think, that came in with the Dame Dash and the Lee Dames thing is the fact that it wasn't, in a sense, so much that he didn't directly pay him back instantly. It was the fact that it was like he was playing in his face. It's like you're on social media, you're going to all of these, different things. You got these nice suits, all of this other type of, like, you got a lot of stuff going on, and you just acting like you just did this all by yourself. You acting like you don't owe, like it, like I said, you got a lot of people out here that will try to play in your face. You know that they're doing, everybody else don't know it, but you know that they're doing it. And a lot of people, they'll start receiving from that. Like, yo, hey, like I said, I have the utmost respect. I've watched a lot of things on Dame Dash. And the one consistent thing that I have realized is that he is the type of person that wants everybody around him to be rich. He don't want ownership of over you. He doesn't want to be your boss. He don't want you to be his underling, and he wants you like the same position that he's in. He wants the people around him in that same or a similar position. He doesn't want to sit up there and have you stuck on level 2 and he's at level 20. He ain't trying to do that. But if you look at somebody like Jay-Z, what happened there? Everybody that's around Jay-Z is not on the same level. Everybody that is running around Jay-Z ain't a billionaire. Like I said, he rapped about it before. He rapped about a few people basically, getting money with him, but he ain't sitting up there saying that, hey, everybody got billions directly out here like me. He ain't saying that. Because usually what happens is that if one person is rich and doing fine, they just want to be the only one up there shining. They want to be the only one up there with that type of light. And, people can try to catch up, but they're going to make sure that those people aren't exactly at the exact same area. Some people are like, hey, it's lonely up here at the top, but I'm going to be the only king up here, though. Everybody going to make sure to be looking at me and singing my praises. Everybody else can stay at the bottom worshiping me. Like I said, it's a clear-cut difference between Dame Dash and Jay-Z. It's a clear-cut difference. Because Jay-Z is the one that sat up there and helped Meek Mill get out of the situation that he was in, but Meek Mill is not a billionaire. Meek Mill doesn't even have $500 million directly to his name. So, like I said, there is a clear-cut difference to the things that are going on and the things that are being shown. And you can also clearly see, again, when it deals with the music entertainment industry, that a lot of people who are in the higher up, they will allow other artists of that same generation to fall to the wayside. We've seen this time and time again. And we always wonder, yo, what happened to this artist? Like, yo, they were so big and they was running with this group and rocking with these people. Yeah. You start to see who a lot of people actually are, especially when it deals with groups. You start to see and realize who a lot of people are. So we're going to go to this next clip right here. And as I told y'all before, I do happen to watch and follow, different women directly on social media. And this is a woman, I'm trying to figure out which profile I might be subscribed on or following on. Because originally I saw her content and I was like, yo, she's speaking, some type of, facts here. Like certain times it'll be like, but other times I'm like, okay, I can see, where it is that you're going. But then I got to this video that I just recently came upon. And I'm like, damn, how did we sit up there and get to this point? But let me show you what it is that I'm talking about.
All over the world, listen to me. Stop having babies with black men. I'm not saying this because I hate myself. I'm not saying this because I hate black men. If you want children, that's fine. But if you want somebody to help you with your children, My suggestion would not be to do that with a black man.
So we all heard that, right? And like I said before, I've listened to over like the period of like a year or so, off and on. I've heard different content, from this creator, and I'm like, yo, the content is sounding good. This is what I told y'all before. A lot of female content creators. I happen to look into their content, listen to their content, and and different stuff, and then it gets to a point where I'll hear some things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. There's nothing I can do here. This is obviously not for me. Um, I don't know what to tell people, uh, because there's a lot of things that have, again, I've gone over videos with the CDC where they said, statistically speaking, that black men are the main fathers, the main men around their children's, in and around their children's lives. You got other articles directly out here. Even Oprah, who has already done the damage that she has done when it dealt with black men and black fathers, she came out and sat up there and had her own thing. So it's a little bit baffling to me when I hear black female content creators make content like this and knowing how detrimental this can be. Because like I said, from my standpoint, just from my point of view, being a black man, I'm in a position where I'm still in the life of who I consider my son, um, even though I am not biologically his. And to sit up there and try to state that black men are not good fathers in general, uh, I have to question a woman's choice in who it is that she decided to get pregnant by in order to have the thought process to make a broad generalization like that. Because, like I said before, coming from a single parent household, um, I had a lot of black men who were, in a sense, a black positive male role model, or seen sort of in that role as a stepfather ish type of deal. Like I said, I don't know. For me, like I said, I find this to be more harmful than good. And the stitch that was going to come after this video was a divester. And she was sitting up there holding her child, and she was stating that just because you feel that this one man is going to do better does not make it so, right? This was a divester. She was basically stating that she has 4 kids by a man in a interracial relationship, and he left them. He is not taking care of them. He is not a father. He is not in the life. She has one of the kids, and the other kids that she has directly with him, she's not able to get, I think she said, contact or custody with because of him. So, it, again, like I said before, a lot of women have to be very, very careful of the other women that they decide to follow and listen to, because you don't really have a deep understanding of the woman's perspective and where it is that she is fully coming from herself. Because you have a lot of female content creators who say that, hey, I went through these relationships and I came to different understandings. I'm a better person now. I'm healed, and so on and so on and so on, just to come and say stuff like this. Because, mind you, you're not seeing other groups of women do the exact same thing to the men of their communities. You're not. So, again, I just try to put stuff directly out there so that women can understand that sometimes you might have some people. I'll put it like this. You might have some people that are misguided by their emotions. They might, quote unquote, mean well, right? But they're misguided by their emotions because they are still unhealed from previous trauma or relationships or other underlying issues that are still present that took place directly in their lives. And because of that, whatever message that they intended to be good ended up being negative and detrimental. And again, that's what I happen to, hear when I'm on social media. So this is why I bring videos up here so that you guys know that I'm not paraphrasing, that I'm not just trying to, blow smoke directly up your ass or anything like that. This is, uh, you know, what it is, right? He says she sent stuff on IG. Yo, King Black, aka Outlaw, aka Officer Haku. What is up? What is up? What is up? Vincent Taylor said it's better to have everyone around on the same level financially than to have one person with all the money and none for everyone else. It just leads to people plotting on you. Yeah, that's bars. That's bars. Timothy said, "Oh goodness, again this early in the year. Usually this happens after Valentine's Day." Ah, yeah. Gail said, "I'm out. Be right back." Seji, don't want to hear this BS. Yeah, I get it. But again, stuff needs to be put directly out there so people can know and understand. Like I said before, some people are pretty misguided because of their emotions and the previous things that they went through, and stuff happens. I don't know what to tell you. So we're going to go to the next clip here. I forgot what this actually was, but we're going to figure out. I forgot because I had these in a certain order. But let's continue.
Store, of course, people think I'm not the owner and I work for Koreans. I'm a black woman that owns a beauty supply store. Of course, everyone thinks that my prices should be cheaper than any other beauty supply store. I'm a black woman that owns a beauty supply store. Of course, there are gatekeepers on all the supplies, and I have to purchase mine at a higher rate than any other beauty supply store. I'm a black woman that owns a beauty supply store. Of course, I was turned down for loans, sponsorships, grants, and investments, and had to get it out the mud to open this motherfucker. I'm a black woman that owns a beauty supply store. Of course, I need your support. So follow me, tag somebody, and share this post.
So let me just roll directly back. Let me actually try to make that a little bit larger so people can happen to see the address. The name of the store is Silky Soul Beauty Supply at 4444 Cypress Creek Parkway, number 24, Houston, Texas, 77068. So that is her beauty supply store. And with the trend that people are doing with the, of course, I'm whatnot or whatever, she was, listing a lot of truths. And these were some of the things that I've listed before when it dealt with Black women wanting to open up a beauty supply store. How when it deals with the Asians, there is a gatekeeping that happens where since they are the primary owners of a lot of the content, the hair and all of the cosmetics and whatnot, they will divvy these things out to themselves first, right? Because it is their people. They're the ones that basically have the mark directly on all of the stuff. They're going to make sure to divvy the stuff out to their people, and they're going to give you scraps. Even though, again, like I told Black women before, you guys are the primary people who go to these beauty supplies, who buy up their stuff, who are allowing them to get, become millionaires, multimillionaires, become billionaires. You're the ones that are facilitating them being able to get a BMW or Maserati, whatever car they have, take lavish trips, buy their homes and all of these things, right? And I've stated, I'm like, yo, it would be great if you guys would support a Black woman that is opening up a beauty supply. Make her rich. Make her a multimillionaire because she has a franchise of beauty supply stores. Stop making everybody else rich. It's not that difficult to do. But, again, when it deals with the Black community, we make it more difficult on ourselves because we will literally find a way in order to sabotage us supporting somebody else. We will deliberately go out of our way, be like, oh, we don't like them because, this one thing that they said, or I don't like them because somebody that I know that knows another person doesn't like them because they had this interact. Like, we will deliberately go out of our way to not work with each other. And again, I'm not sitting up there saying that everybody has to sit up there and get along. All I'm sitting up there saying is, if you know that there's a problem out there and you know that there's an easy solution, why still be a part of that problem? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. By black women, in a sense, enabling another black woman who is an everyday black woman who's walking out here, enabling her to become a multimillionaire, that's also going to empower other black women as well. Not only that, but that's also going to help to empower her family as well, which is more than likely you might have somebody else in her family that might be going through college. You might have somebody else that wants to be an entrepreneur that might facilitate an avenue for her to send her kids or family members' kids to a way better school than what they would normally be able to get in the area that they're in. Like I said, the possibilities are literally endless, but the way of thinking is the thing that happens to limit a lot of people in the black community. But, again, hopefully by her following this trend and, putting her face directly out there along with her store and her address, hopefully people will, come through and show support so that she can grow and flourish. And then within that, hopefully that made that idea or her being empowered by people will also, give a positive outlook and a thought to, other young women and black women as well. So we're going to go to another handy dandy video. Where's the other video at? Let me make sure I actually got this one up here. Yes, that's the video I was supposed to bring directly up here. Why is it? So let me make sure. No, was that the one I wanted to bring up? I think I was supposed to put an edit directly to this video, I think. Because that one that has to do with reparations and how you got other groups coming directly in here, I guess in a sense trying to speak for or represent black Americans. This is the clip I was looking for, right? So the clip that you're about to hear, right? So in the caption you see it says 5 Nigerians versus an African American. And you're going to hear the brother. He's going to be in a bucket hat. He's going to bring up some very valid points, and you're going to hear what the Nigerian girl is going to state directly to him, right? And again, this is not me trying to, this is why we shouldn't sit up there and the Africans and all. I'm just simply showcasing something that does take place. Again, this is a conversation that needs to be had, right? But I'll let her speak.
10 years plus. I studied Nigerian culture. I immersed myself in it. You guys still would not call me Nigerian.
Yes, because you don't have the same.
Even if my ancestry said I was 90% Nigerian, you guys still wouldn't call me that.
Because the insight would still be different, and it depends. And I said it depends on how. If you haven't gone through that process of immersing a culture, you can't say we won't accept you. Do that first.
You already answered.
Who said that?
So y'all proving my point. The answer is yes. Y'all proving my point.
In history, as a black person, not saying that I won't, but for you, for example. Your history is so.
You see that right there?
No, because you have to let me finish.
We're all from Africa. We're all from Africa.
I mean, yeah.
So you say we're trying to
that's
correct. That's correct.
No, it's incorrect.
It's correct.
You're from Africa, nigga. Nigeria's in Africa. You're African.
But that's a whole continent. Why would you generalize that whole continent?
Why are you disagreeing with me?
No, but it's valid to say that because you could be Tanzanian, you could. He's just trying to say Africa.
Okay, African. Okay, if you don't know, don't say it. You're African American.
This is what I'm talking about. So y'all see my point. She's helping me prove my point. So I appreciate you for being here. Because you helping me prove my point. No. It doesn't fucking matter.
It does matter. It's like say I'm from the United Kingdom. United Kingdom's where? United States where?
Yeah. The classic debate. So the brother was basically saying, even if I immerse myself in your culture, I study your history, I learn your dialect, I'm learning amongst the people, you still wouldn't consider me Nigerian. Then he went to another extent. He was like, even if my parents basically was telling me that I was Nigerian, like, you know, did a DNA test where it was like, I'm 98%, y'all still wouldn't sit up there and accept me. And these are all facts. He's not going to get accepted because they're going to look at him as like, well, you're not Nigerian because you are American. You grew up there. You don't have any of our history. You don't know this. You don't have the experiences. And I'm like, I don't have no problem with that. Because the main thing that people got to realize is that Black people, even though everybody, you know, in a sense might have the same hue or melanin, whatever it is, in different shades, everybody ain't the same. So it's like, it's cool. If they're from Nigeria, that's cool. And if you got somebody that is a Black man or a woman that is from America, that is also cool as well. The thing that needs to, in a sense, happen is that we as Black people in America just need to be cool with being where it is that we're from. And for me, now some people may see this as a negative, but I don't see it as a negative because every culture does it. There needs to be a specific type of gatekeeping that happens when it deals and entails our culture because you're not, for me, being Black, I can't go over to any African culture and decide to try to claim anything over there or to say that I'm a part. They're going to look at me like I'm weird. They will 100% look at me like, what are you talking about? It's like, yo, you're from America. You can't claim anything. You ain't even, you're not even, your family's not, right? It's going to be that whole thing. But what happens is that everybody who was from everywhere else, the Pan-African, the diaspora, they'll come directly over here and magically they're a part of the culture. Magically, they are rappers. They're dressing in the exact same wares. They're speaking the exact same language that we created for ourselves, using the slang or whatever it is that people want to sit up there and say. They're doing the exact same dances, right? They're eating, in some instances, they might even be taking part in eating the same foods that we sit up there and eat, be it holiday or out there at restaurants. So again, this is part of our culture, right? But yet other people can tend to try to make claims when it deals with our culture, which is crazy. And this now rolls into the previous video that I was going to show you guys here. So pay attention to this.
Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the
so
Caribbean, and we
didn't qualify for the American reparations.
Well, here's the challenge: there are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially, I could fall into that category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations. If we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair that there's no reparations, no restitution, nothing?
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the Progressive era. Sure. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's a fact. Slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country. And you have people like my family. I'm Black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests that I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was, do you think Black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I consider to be a dead-end idea, a dead-end movement.
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further. We would insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
So y'all already hear that, right? You got all of these people where they have a certain heritage. They got a certain bloodline from another area. But yet they're representing and speaking on a subject that has nothing to do with them. You had one dude up there talking about like, yeah, my family has been here since like 1960s, or they got here, 60 years ago. Would I get a check? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because bloodline wise, your family has not been here. You literally just got here. Even if it was 60 years ago, you literally just got here. Why would you be able to receive anything? You're not. That's like me going down to Haiti. Let's say that France or Europe was going to sit up there and pay reparations to Haiti, and rightfully so, because Haiti beat the shit out of France and sit them fucking smoking on a first thing, right? They did that. Shout out to the Haitians. So let's say that Haiti was supposed to get reparations from Europe, and then I took my black ass down to Haiti, and I just been there for about 5 to 10 years. Do I deserve any of those reparations that the Haitians are going to? It had nothing to do with me. Why? That doesn't make any sense. So it's a little bit baffling to me why all of these other people who quote unquote look black, how it's possible that they even have a microphone in front of their face to try to speak on a topic that has zero to do with their lineage, their heritage, and everything else. That's crazy to me. I cannot go to any of their countries and speak on their hardships, their problems, their history. I couldn't do that. People look at me like, yo, what is he doing up here? He is not a part of us. He is not from us. He don't have our bloodline. What does he know about us? And rightfully so. They should be mad. Just like black people here in America should be mad when you see any of these people online sitting up here talking about, oh no, black people don't deserve reparations. How? Who made you the author to speak directly on what it is that black people do and do not deserve? Who? Shouldn't you be worried about your people from where you came from? Shouldn't you be worried about your countrymen and your countrywomen and the kids there? But no, everybody sit up there and focused on what it is that black people are trying to get. Been talking about for the longest time possible. It's crazy. And then the craziest thing is, I saw a shout out to Vicky Dillard. If you don't know who Vicky Dillard is, you might want to sit up there and check her out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else where her social media is. She was basically stating how it is that Jane Elliott was talking about, if black people, if we're talking about reparations, then Native Americans need to be getting it first. I'm like, ma'am, all right, this is where that train stops. You had a very good run. You had a good run. I've even sat up there and showcased her content here and bigged her up before. I'm like, yeah, you're good. You're done. You're done. We're not even about to sit up there and do this. You're talking about the Native Americans need to get it first. I'm not sure if people realize that Native Americans have land. They have casinos. They have their own. They got reservations. Like, are people stupid out here? I'm literally watching every other group get some type of form of reparations. But when it deals with black people, everybody's like, oh, that's where we cut the cord. And then people want to sit up there and start moving the goalposts. Oh, what about the Irish and the Scottish? What about them? What about them? You meant that you had to serve somebody for a few years, 7, 12 years, and then after that, you were completely fine and dandy, while black people, you had their kids in this. You had their kids' kids in this. You got grandparents in this, and it was continuous. It was a circle. Vicious cycle. And in some instances around the United States, slavery did not sit up there and stop up until what, about the 60s or the 70s? But a lot of people don't want to sit up there and look into that. A lot of people don't want to read up on that. A lot of people want to just stick on the fact, oh yeah, that the same, oh, that was like 400 years ago, 400 years ago. We still got slavery right now in jails and prisons. So what are we talking about? But nobody wants to look at that because they're like, oh, well, if you ended up in jail and prison and you obviously did something to be there, you deserve it. You have people in jails and prisons right now that are there for crimes that they didn't commit. You know how many black men have been exonerated at this moment in time? You got black men that got exonerated, 43 years in prison, 50 years in prison, 20 years in prison, and more. Losing their whole lives because somebody told a lie, because the police just wanted to lock up a black man and put him in prison. because they wanted to siphon his life force and his energy away from him so that they can sit up there and make thousands of dollars per each black man that is locked up in that prison, in that jail cell. And then didn't we just have a story about prisoners being found in the back of a prison or a jail? All of those bodies. Like I said before, people not even paying attention. But people want to always sit up there and say, oh, slavery ended. Say who? Because the funniest thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is that slavery never ended. It just switched names. It just transferred. It evolved. But I want to point this out because nobody really wanted to fix the issue or have the conversation. Now what's going to inevitably happen is that everybody that was talking about, oh, black people stop crying about being slaves and this was never your history and that was so long ago. Guess what? Now all of y'all slaves. And I don't got nothing to say. I don't got nothing to say. If you look at the way that the system is basically set up, if you look at how much debt, what we had, what was the debt? What, 35, 33, somewhere in between 33 to 36 trillion in debt. That sounds like a lot of money mismanagement. Again, I sat up there and showed y'all the articles where trillions of dollars just seemingly disappeared. Hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, seemingly disappeared, unaccounted for. Nobody knows what happens. Money mismanagement with airplanes just losing track and people having to crash the plane. Craziness. And people think that, everybody's free. Nah, you working for somebody else. Your kids right now, they're working for somebody else. Your grandkids right now, they're working for somebody else. All of your dead relatives, they still working for somebody else. Like I said, go look at your birth certificates. Like I said, I keep telling y'all, I repeat this like for years. Go look at your birth certificates. Go learn about your Social Security. Go find out where the number on the back of your Social Security is going to sit up there and lead you to. Go check out your federal bank, where that shit is actually linked to. I ain't talking about your Chase. I'm not talking about your Bank of America. I'm not talking about Santander. I'm not talking about Wells Fargo. I'm talking about a federal bank that all of your shit is connected to. Because like I said, y'all don't even understand. Like I said, everybody think that they're free and you ain't free worth shit. You got a work card directly on you that you're given when you're born. If you don't believe me, like I said, go do research. Before you start crying that something is false and conspiracy, please go do your research. So like I said before, I don't got nothing to say to anybody who always want to talk about black people don't deserve. Hey, everybody's slave now. It don't matter if you're white, as long as you're in America. It don't matter if you're white, don't matter if you're Asian, don't matter if you're Arab, don't matter if you're Latin, don't matter if you're Mexican, don't matter what color, creed, or religion you are. Everybody is a slave now. This is what happens when you opt not to sit up there and try to fix a problem. When you don't want to have the conversation, when you want to try to call the people that's having a conversation, oh, you just got a victim mentality. You want to make everything about race. Well, guess what? It's not about race now. It's not about race now. So you got it now. There you go. So like I said, I don't want to hear nobody crying because everybody told black people to shut the fuck up about it. And I'm going to be telling everybody the same shit. As soon as everybody start crying online, I'm just going to be telling people to shut the fuck up. Just deal with it. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like I said, it's crazy. Like I said, and I kept telling people, you're not going to understand up until it actually happens to you. You're not going to understand up until it affects you. You're not going to understand up until you see your kids having to go through the shit that black people been sitting up there warning, been sitting up there telling people about. Like I said, people going to understand. But going back into what they just basically said here and how they were trying to speak on black issues, let me further double down on that by this woman here.
That Dominicans are not black. We are not black. And no matter how much black Americans cry about it, we are not black. We will never be black. Yes, I look black, but we are not black. And it's just a reminder to black Americans who are so pathetically forcing Dominicans to label themselves as black. Where we keep telling them we have our own culture. We know black, papi. They still force it on us. So just a reminder, Dominicans are not black, period.
So y'all heard that. And I've heard things like this before. And this is why I'm just at the point, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You know, whatever people want to call themselves is whatever people want to call themselves. It is completely cool. I don't have no problem. Just don't be trying to sit up there and say that you understand history of plight or how it is that I see stuff, because you don't. And you never will. Just like within the same token, I'm not gonna, in a sense, directly, understand certain things. You are so correct. You can have that. You can be directly in their corner, directly by yourself. Like I said, I just need people to sit up there and leave black people alone. And I told people before, black people are some of the nicest ones on the planet. I can't speak for everybody else directly out here, but I know that people, irregardless of the stuff that I myself have also reported on, and maybe some of my experiences, overall, black people are some of the most nicest and welcoming people that you will actually meet on this planet. And it don't matter what culture that you're from, we will literally let you in. Look at all of the white rappers, Jack Harlow, Eminem, Machine Gun Kelly, and all of these other ones. Black people let them, is like, oh, hey, you cool, you down with us, you invited to the cookout, all this other type of. We're the ones that do that. We'll even make sure that you're styled correctly. We'll sit up there and give you like a fade, cornrows, all this other time. We'll give you a gold chain. It's like, yo, you sitting up there, you wearing that, you rocking that. Like, we will literally big you up. Even if you might not really be that good or doing anything too much, we will sit up there and do that because we want to make sure that you feel welcome in our home, which is our culture, which is what it is that we made. Right? You're a guest. We're going to make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. And we continuously do this. And because we're also like that, we're the first ones to try to sit up there and raise up and defend everybody else, because we know what it's like not to have nobody, including the world, see us as human. The world wanting to actually defend us and actually stand up for us. So when people basically come here to America, we're the first ones. You can be African. We sit up there and see something happen to you by the police. We're like, oh, that's another black man. That's another black woman. We got to sit up there and stand up. We got to protest. We got to march. We got to make hashtags. We got to make t-shirts. We're trying to do the utmost. You can sit up there and be Jamaican. You can sit up there and be Haitian. You can sit up there and come from South America. We will try to rush and protect and speak on your behalf because we understand what it's like looking like us and being in America. But again, black people have to start reserving a lot of that caring. Black people need to start pulling a lot of that back. Black people need to stop covering so many people, because the only thing that I'm seeing happening to black people is that we're getting abused and misused and mistreated and talked about horribly because we opt to want to be so friendly and welcoming and want to shelter so many other people. Like I said, people will not understand what they got up until it's gone. So the moment of time that the black community stops sheltering and stops trying to cover other groups of people, they're going to sit up there and see it as a problem. Like I said, I've reported on this before, where you had a Caucasian woman who was sitting up there telling black women that, oh, why are you guys, like, you see everything is on fire, why are you guys basically hiding your fire extinguishers, and you know that, other people, need those fire extinguishers. She was basically trying to reference that, hey, black women, you got a voice, you got power. We have this problem going on with us, and we're not really getting the attention that we feel that we deserve or need. So you need to lend your voice and a hand to come basically help us out. That's what she was saying. And like I told black women before, y'all need to stop doing that, because it was those same people who got y'all into the feminist movement who told y'all strong, independent, don't need a man, depend on the government, depend less on black men. You don't need a father in the household. You just need the government. And then you see where that got black women. And you see how when black women teamed up with them, black women are still in 10th place. They're not on the same level. They're not even close. So like I said before, black people need to, stop trying to help out everybody else. Black people need to worry about and help out themselves. Come together as a community. We need to, stop a lot of the infighting. Like I said, I'm not expecting everybody to sit up there and come together, because that is impossible. It is just impossible. Some people are just stuck in their ways. Some people are just stuck in their own type of logic or realm, whatever you want to sit up there and call it. So it is what it is. Those people will just be directly to the side, and they'll play catch up later, or maybe not. Either which way, it is what it is. Everybody else that got common sense and that rolls with logic and see exactly what's going on needs to start, doing things drastically different. Needs to start changing their mentality, because I'm going to put it just like somebody put it on the podcast. When you look at, and I might have said this in a previous live stream as well, when you look at Mexican families that come directly into Black communities, they're normally packed. They might have 8 or 12 people directly in a house. What the Mexican families will do is they will all have a job and they'll all pull money and work together. And they're like, all right, so we got this house here. We're going to sit up there and buy the next house, right? So then the family splits and they go into the next house to do the exact same thing. And they start buying house after house after house after house. And sooner or later in that Black community, they got one whole block to themselves. And then Black people are looking like, yo, where all of them come from? They've been here. They work together while we are sitting up there trying to be independent from everybody else, from each other, and trying to work everything by ourselves. They're up here buying everything around us while we're sitting up there fighting. And we're thinking that they just came out of nowhere. It's like, no, they've been here. You just opted not to pay attention and look at the moves that was being made in front of your face. Like I told y'all before, if anybody want to hide a secret, you hide it in plain sight. So no longer are we at a point in time where people are like, oh, if you want to hide information from somebody Black, just put it in a book. No, if you want to hide information from Black people, just put it in plain sight. Because it seems to me that a lot of Black people are blind, and this is coming from a person that's been wearing glasses for the greater duration of his life. And I can sit up there and tell you firsthand that Black people are blind. Because everybody, every other nationality is coming to America and they're making moves. Black people are standing still. Black people are literally standing still. Because again, what's happening in Chicago? Why the Black community there had to bring up a lawsuit? Oh, that's right, because they started bringing undocumented immigrants directly into Black communities first, which is going to automatically affect the Black community first and everybody else later. And everybody else doesn't care about what's happening to the Black community because it's not their people. It's not their community. And this goes back into what I stated before. I'm not going to have nothing to say when everybody else starts crying about, yo, what happened to the community? Why doesn't it look yeah, that's because you didn't care on the first go around. Just like at this moment in time, Black people are barely caring about it on the first go around. It's only so few actually talking about this and speaking out against it. Like I said, it's a problem. The Black community already has a problem with unemployment, with joblessness. We already got a problem with lack of education, entrepreneurship, investments, holding down homes, holding down the block. We got problems all over the place. This is going to further exacerbate that issue. But yet we're still worried about small disagreements with neighbors, small disagreements with family, small disagreements with our kids. And because of those small things that basically have Black people divided against themselves, Black people are going to continue to be in the exact same plight. And like I told y'all before, 2030, 2035 is right around the corner. It is going to be a hell of a trip. And people don't even realize it or see it. Like I said before, China, the last time I reported on that story, I think it was the president or whoever basically stated that they're working on by 2030 or 2035 being a first world country, first world power. I'm not sure if people actually realize what that means. I'm not sure if people actually realize what the hell that means. And then on top of that, China is the same ones that work with Russia and a few others to formulate BRIC, which they're going to use that currency. They're going to trade amongst themselves and they're going to use their currency, while the United States is doing what? Still working on the petrodollar, still working on the fossil fuel, still not advancing technologies while everybody else is sitting up there moving. Like I said, people don't understand how stuff is working, where the government is making sure that you are even more dependent on them. Like I said, everything is going up. The schools are shit. The medical system is shit. Colleges are shit. The debt is up to high shit. The jobs shit. Nobody's looking at the fact that you got these corporations or these groups buying up all of these homes across the country. People don't even see it. Nobody paid attention to the fact that Costco was selling gold and that was selling out. And I told y'all before, like, hey, if you got any type of extra money, or just save up $50 throughout your pay period, go out there and buy some gold, buy some precious metals, because those things will go up over time. They will always have value. The piece of paper that we got, the digits that we have in our bank accounts, that value can literally drop right now. There's nothing you can do about it. And guess what? The people who still want the money for that mortgage, they still gonna want that money. The people that want the money for that car that you leasing, they still want that. Your kids going to private school, you still gonna have to pay that. Whatever renter, whatever, they still gonna want that. Whatever your insurance is, they still gonna want that. So all of these corporations and companies can know that the dollar is going to shit, but they still gonna want you to pay on the 30th, pay at the first of the month, pay on the 15th. Like I said, I don't know how a lot of people are going to facilitate a lot of these things. This is why, again, I set up there and told people, hey, start looking into some solar energy. Hey, start looking into some things where you could put in a water filter directly in your home, a standing water filter where it's able to filter even water out there in nature that might be muddy and dirty, and it can make it directly clean because of the filtration system that it got. Like I said, I say these things for very specific reasons, because continuously we've had problems in the United States where we are a first world country with third world problems. We literally have issues with water that is not drinkable, water that gives Legionnaire's disease, water that is also polluted because you got a chemical explosion that happened in East Palestine, which, again, I'm not sure what the fallout is looking like for that, or what it's going to be in 20 to 30 years. But it's amazing to me that nobody's still even talking about that. Like, that whole area, if not more, is polluted. But like I said, nobody cares. Nobody's going to care up until it actually affects them. And like I said, it's too late. It's going to be too late. And it's like, I'm not trying to sit up there and hear people scream and cry when it's too late. When it's dark and it turns 12, I'm not trying to hear people bitching and complaining and say this and, oh, we need to do something now. No, you have more than enough time to sit up there and do stuff. You have more than enough time to sit up there and get prepared. The problem is, a lot of people don't care. They want to wait up until they can actually see the problem to try to make a move. So you're going to try to make a move when the banks close? You're going to try to make a move when the banks start doing the same thing Australia is doing, where they don't have a lot of main branches, where all of the ATMs are the ones that basically facilitate all of your money needs? And I'm not sure if people are actually doing the research and realize that ATMs only hold a certain amount of money. So then if you look at how much money, you can go and look up ATMs and how much money those are able to hold. So you look up what those ATMs are able to hold, and then you look at the population that's around those ATMs. How do you think that you're going to be able to get the money that you're going to need every single day? You're not. You're not. And the banks are not going to sit up there and care. Just like they did in China. Main banks in China, I sat up there and told people about this about like a year plus ago. They sat up there and froze people's accounts. People weren't able to use their cards. People weren't able to do stuff by phone. You had people all across China trying to go to those main banks, and you had lines as long as the eye could see, so people could try to get the money that they need because they needed that money. And the bank just was like, "Well, we don't know what to tell you. It's it's a work in progress." Like I said, people don't understand a lot of these tests and a lot of these things that are happening to see how the public are going to respond. It's a lot of tests directly out here, and people are both failing and passing with flying colors. Failing in the aspect of that we don't realize it, but we're passing in the aspect of giving them exactly what they're specifically looking for so that they can fine tune these certain things so that, bam, they can finally do it. And like I said, this is again coming from somebody who does love technology. And I'm sitting up there telling you exactly where stuff is going. I do love technology, but I'm not about everything being just all tech. There needs to be some stuff that is directly grounded, that is directly manual, but that is not where we are headed at this moment in time. And it's going to continue to get worse because everybody is enabling it. Now, I can sit up there and be honest and said, hey, I don't mind if the fast food workers are basically AI driven, if they're bots. Because like I said before, number one, I stated that because as somebody who worked in customer service, I understand how disgusting how a lot of customers can be. Their mouths, the way that they move and everything and how they address people. So I'm like, for the safety of the people that would have worked there, I would rather it be robots. Because I want to see dumbass people arguing at the drive-thru with a robot. I want to see you throw your drink directly at a robot. People are just going to be looking like straight idiots. And I know it's going to happen. There's going to be that person out there that's going to be mad about their order and they're going to throw their drink directly at the robot. Like I said, it is going to happen. Give it enough time, people will show you how stupid they can get and how stupid they are. It's going to happen. But as I stated before, a lot of people are facilitating these things, enabling these things to take place and happen and not even understanding it. Like I said, what's happening right now where I told y'all about Walmart and online, I sat up there and showed you all the people that were like, yeah, the reason that the Walmarts are closing in a lot of these areas is due to the fact of, the black community that's there. And, they're just pillaging and robbing and they're just stealing. And I'm sitting up there telling people, I'm like, you do know that you okay. So you got a few of those black people, you got a few minorities within the black community sitting up there doing this. The overwhelming amount statistically is not black people doing this. But like I said, you can't tell people nothing. And people don't want to pay attention up until it's too late. So again, this is why I go back to a lot of those small towns where everybody is everybody, where everybody knows your name, that type of thing. And they at one point in time, they used to have a big K and a super K. That used to be the end all to be all in a lot of those small towns. And once that dried up and closed up, that town didn't have nothing like that ever again. Because that big K and that super K pretty much shut down a lot of the other stuff that was there. And it's the same thing with Walmart. Walmart is basically an upgraded version of a Super Kmart where it has every and anything that you need. You got the child area, you got the toy area, you got the grocery area, you got the clothes. Some places you might even have some automotive type stuff, right? So that's going to shut down the mom and pop and all of these other types of things. Even if they got a farmer's market, it's shutting that down because everything is now going through Walmart. Walmart is facilitating everything that you need. So guess what happens if that Walmart shuts down? That's it for that town. Nobody's just going to automatically start, oh yeah, I'm about to start up this mom and pop shop. Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because in a lot of instances, when those large corporate buildings like a Walmart or whatever shuts down, the population also leaves too. So then once the big business leaves, part of the population leaves. Now what's going to sit up there and happen? You're going to start to see a lot of drugs. You're going to start to see a lot of crime. You're going to start to see dilapidated buildings. A lot of things are going to start to follow directly after that. It's going to be an avalanche that's going to just keep rolling into a snowball. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But like I said, nobody understands it. Nobody sees it. And then taking it to a further extent, you can sit up there and look at Amazon. Amazon is the upgraded version of Walmart. Amazon does everything, literally everything. The only thing that they don't do at this moment in time is that you can't take your car to a Amazon place and get some stuff done. Amazon does not help you with childcare at this moment. Amazon does not help you with hospice at this moment. But there's a lot of other things that Amazon can and will do, and they do it currently at this moment in time. And what do you think is going to happen if people depend on Amazon to do all of these things and then they can no longer use Amazon? People are screwed. This is what happens when you put all of your eggs in one basket. This is what happens when you just depend solely on one thing. So I'm saying that to say this. This is what's going to inevitably happen if everything is ran on just straight tech. Because that basically means that the people who own the tech have control. Case in point, going back to game systems. The companies have the ability to strip the barcode or the ID directly off of a system so that you can't use it anymore online, so that it is completely invalid, so that it will not register at all. And before people sit up there and say, oh, well, that's why I don't play video games, that's why I don't have game systems, let me just let you know that cell phone companies can do the exact same thing to you as well. Computer companies can do the exact same thing to your PC as well. Because none of the stuff that we have that we bought, we don't own none of that. I own a Nintendo Switch. I'm sorry, let me rewrite my words. I paid for a Switch, I paid for a PS5, I paid for an Xbox, I paid for the PC that I am on at this moment in time. But if any company decided that they did not want us to sit up there and use any of this tech that they gave us, they can make sure that it doesn't work anymore. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. Because again, you don't own it. You paid for it, yes, but you don't own it. Because it is not yours. They own all the rights to all of this stuff here. This is why everything has a barcode. This is why everything has a certain identifier that is there. It's just like when a lot of cars used to have OnStar, and people are like, yeah, OnStar is so cool and da-da-da. And then people realized that OnStar has the ability to shut off your car. So again, for your car that has OnStar, do you really own that car, or are you just leasing that car? You could have just completely paid off that car and then installed OnStar into that car. Do you actually own that car? If somebody else has the power to shut it off while you're driving or while you're in the parking lot, do you really own that car? No, you don't. And that has to do with everything that we have. Like I said, government can sit up there and pull you directly out of your house. Banks can sit up there and shut down your bank account and be like, all right, we're going to shut down your bank account, and then we're going to sit up there and send you a check dealing with the property in your bank account in about 14 to 30 business days. Pay attention. They can shut you down instantly and then have you wait for your money. You can't do that with nobody. You can't do that with your bills. Be like, okay, well, I just got my lights cut on. Y'all gonna have to wait like 3 months for me to pay this. No, you ain't gonna have no lights. You can't do that with your water either. Because they'll make sure the water company, like I said, living in Detroit, the water company will come by that same day and it will turn off your water directly in front of you in that house. And you ain't gonna have no water up until you pay that bill. They'll do the same thing with the power as well. Cable company does what? Oh, you ain't pay this? Oh, before, let me show you how the cable companies have evolved. Before, if you didn't pay your bill back, let's say the 90s and the 2000s, they'll directly just cut that off. Right? Let's say for the cable, that's what they would do. For the internet, they'll do a few things. They'll start to like throttle the internet, and then you'll start to have like some spotty issues here and there, like letting you know, like, hey, maybe you should like really get on paying your bill, because if not, the spotty thing is going to turn into an off thing. Right? So they're nice to, that extent. But again, the stuff that we basically have, we don't really own. We're just, in a sense, leasing. I up until I can find another word, that's the best thing that I got for you. We're just, in a sense, leasing a lot of these things. The only thing that you would technically actually own is gold, silver. But we had a certain point in time where the government was like, hey, you need to give all of your gold and silver directly over to the country. It's a necessity. You need to give all of that. So a lot of people with their grandpappies and grandmammies and all this, and the pappy, yeah, they had to give up all of that antique gold and silver Because if you didn't and they found that you had it, it's going to be some problems with the government real quick. And they was not joking back then. It would get you. Or maybe it was just a scare tactic. I don't know, but I do know that it worked. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how I got here. I went on such a huge rant. I'm just trying to remind myself how I even got here. I got here somehow. I don't know. I think it had to do with black people working together at some point. You know, let me see what y'all saying. Let me see. We have no friends or allies, either hidden in plain sight or put it in a celebrity or a podcast. Gail says Cedric got his first pair of glasses at 6 years old. Yo, what's up, Miss Davis? What's going on? What's going on? Miss Davis said all the other countries call black people stupid for allowing this to happen. Black men thinking white wives are better is a big problem. Now, Ms. Davis, I'll say this because this is I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also going to add in directly on that because what typically happens is that when we have this conversation, one side is going to say that this is a huge problem, and then the other side is like, well, this perspective is a huge problem. I'll say it's a huge problem for both in general. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. Anybody can get it. I do not play games with that. Because as I've stated before, I've shown videos, well, not specifically shown videos, but I've covered stories of men who either appear to be black or are black that have lost their lives or their freedom due to the effect of the relationship that they're in. And I've also shown stories of black women who either were beaten halfway senseless, lost their lives, or left as single mothers because of the choices that they decided to make in a relationship with a significant other. So, I will say that it's a problem all over the board, but I want to say in general that when you look statistically, black men and black women are in relationships and are married to each other the most versus whatever it else that other people, tend or like to do. So, I would just like to, put that directly, out there when it deals with the black community and how it is that people move and stuff of that nature. Timothy said this is how they kick black folks out of the neighborhood that they want. Stop filling your safes with papers and fill it with metals and stones. Stay ready. Ain't gotta get ready. That's why they want to be paperless currency so they can lock down the population if or when everything hits the fan. The movie Idiocracy is a documentary. Video games is the perfect example, with them deleting games off of their digital library and no one can play it even if they pay for it. Yep. Yo, RJ, what is up? What is up? Gail said, y'all nerd MFers, let this happen. It's innovation and advancement. No, it's not. Now, I put it to you like this, Gail. Before we had video games, people wanted things to be easy. A lot of people, like in general, humans are lazy. Let me just generalize that as much as possible. Human beings are lazy. If there is a way to sit up there and do something the easiest, if there's a shortcut to anything, human beings are going to take it. Let's not play games. Let's not make it seem like if people had an easier way to do their job right now to make their paycheck, that they are not going to sit up there and take that shortcut. People are going to sit up there and take that shortcut. So in general, when dealing with AI, stepping away from video games, AI has always been here. Talking about robotics, that has always been here. Humanity has always tried to seek a way to advance and make things easier so that the trivial things that we do every day, we don't have to do those, right? So the mediocre, trivial things such as fast food and all this stuff ran by AI, right? So that means that people should be going to school and then learning an education that is going to propel and push them forward so that they can get a better job somewhere else because human power is not needed for those mediocre jobs, correct? But that's not what people want to do. That's not where, people decided to go. And because of that, because people are not like, hey, let me sit up there and just work on myself. Let me just upgrade. Let me just do this. Let me just do that. Here we are. Here we are. We are at the battle of quantum computing, even though there realistically is not a battle. It's like the man on the moon type of thing. There is no battle to see who's going to basically reach this first, because the tech was already here. We've had it for a very long time. If people happen to look into things and to seek some things out, we have a lot of tech that is hidden and it's in plain sight. Like I said, this is why I like the internet. And I keep telling people before anything just so happens to go out. And what I mean by that is we've had a multitude of instances where the internet has gone out. We've had a multitude of instances where YouTube has gone out. We have instances where Twitter has gone out. We had instances where IG has gone out. So like I said, going back to what I told y'all before about the trial and error, where they're doing certain things in order to see or get a certain type of reaction so that they can gauge the public and basically tweak it so that it's better. That's what they're doing. All of your favorite social media platforms have blacked out at a certain point in time, like somebody just stepped on a plug and just turned off the lights. And I'm like, nobody finds that suspicious. Nobody's like really trying to, look at this for what it is. Like I said, you've had instances where banks have gone out, where they've had their issues, or quote unquote, whatever request you tried to do to pull out money, it's not actually working right now. Please get back to us in about a few days. We're working on the problem. People not understanding. Then on top of that, you've had other issues where it deals with, let's say, markets not getting a certain number of produce. It could be eggs, it could be milk, it could be meat, it could be rice, or whatever it is. It wasn't that long ago that I sat up there and brought y'all a video where a guy was at a shipment area during the pandemic, and he was saying that it was weird that you don't see as many cargo what's the names coming in. And I'm like, people not understanding. Other videos I brought to y'all before where a farmer was sitting up there telling y'all, like, hey, during the pandemic, they were starting to, go up on the feed and all of these other type of stuff. What happens when you go up on the necessities that a lot of these animals on these farms basically use? Well, guess what? That means that the prices at the market is going to go up. So eggs is going to go up, milk is going to go up, chicken is going to go up, beef is going to go up. All of these things that we use and need every single day are going to sit up there and go up. So again, the goalpost is being moved. A lot of trial and error is taking place where they're putting these certain things in place in order, again, to gauge and to get a reaction from the public so that they can come back later, tweak it, and make it bigger and better. But ain't nobody paying attention. Vincent said, not going to lie, I've actually turned off someone's water right in front of them and handed them the card and just walked off. Yeah, when I was younger, in Detroit, we had our water turned off because we were just late. It happens. It happens. And I sat up there, I saw the water company, and my grandmother was sitting up there telling them, was like, yo, I just sat up there and sent the payment directly to them. So why are y'all here right now cutting this off? So my grandmother sent the payment on the day, and the water company came directly to the house to cut off the water. And then they stated, okay, yeah, we got the payment. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to, come back to cut off the water. They either came back to cut the water back on that day, or they came back the next day. But like I said before, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. This is, again, why I sat up there and told people the reason why you don't see somebody like Moses West getting funded. The government is not trying to do that. They want to have control over every single facet of your life. So that's food, water, and soon enough, it will be air. Like I said, do you understand how much money the city would lose if people had an alternative to get the water that they need? Waste management will lose so much money. The city will lose so much money because people wouldn't need to sit up there and have water going direct. They could just have that cut off and be like, all right, no problem. You want the money for this? All right, then come. I'm going to pay you this. Come cut off my water. I'm not using no water directly from you. That's it. Do you know that the city would have a fit? You might even get sued by the city because they can do weird stuff like that, where they can basically force you to use certain things. Like, how many homes do you know that are built right now that have water running directly into them and that have toilets. Just imagine if somebody was like, I'm going to build this home, but we're not having any water coming from the city directly to this house. There would be a problem. You'll more than likely get taken to court. Even though that you can prove that, hey, I don't need your water because I have my own water. I don't need these facilities. So that's an extra bill that I don't they would get you. Somehow, some way, they will sit up there and get you. Like I said, if people didn't want to hear the whole thing of black people crying about slavery and in the past, well, guess what? Everybody's slave now. You don't got control of your water. You don't got control of your food. You don't got control of your electricity. You barely got control of your car because somebody can either shut that off by remote control. They can hack that. OnStar can sit up there and cut it off. The automotive industry, whoever, Ford, GM, Chrysler, they can sit up there and shut that off. And then on top of that, hey, let's just sit up there and have an issue with gas where we just don't have a lot of gas across the country. You won't be driving. It'll just be sitting there like the piece of metal that it is. But like I said, here we are. Here we are. RJ said the Terminator franchise is a warning, but I'm crazy. And also They Live. That was another good movie as well. They Live. That if people never seen that movie, go look that up. They Live is a very, very good movie. Timothy said once they figure out how to add clones to the equation, it's a wrap. Yeah, they cover that in Atlas, in Cloud Atlas. I'm not sure if anybody's seen that movie, but it was a movie with Halle Berry and Tom Hanks. It's a bit of a long movie, about 2 hours and 50 minutes, if not close to 3 hours. But they got a scene in there dealing with cloning. They got other movies out there. They clone Tyrone. They got Infinity Pool. They got Gemini Man. They got a lot of movies out there dealing with clones. So they're more than likely telling you about something that they've been doing or have damn near perfected. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago that scientists have cracked the human genome. It wasn't that long ago. So they know how to write that thing backwards and forwards. Remember, it was a scientist that was able to have parents DNA edit their children. So if you wanted your kids to have blue eyes, blonde hair, you could sit up there and do that. You wanted your kids to grow 6 feet tall, you could sit up there and do that. But people are like, oh no, we can't allow people to do this because it's morally wrong. Hey, like I said before, whatever. Let people sit up there and reap the benefits and suffer the consequences, whatever it is. Because the moment I'm going to tell people this, the moment in time that you decide that you want to outlaw something that people want to do, they're going to find a way to do it. Case in point, back when Grand Theft Auto was banned around the world, multitude of countries had banned Grand Theft Auto. The stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Stupid. The moment of time they banned it, people were just sitting there trying to find another way to get it directly into their country. And you had people damn near selling a copy of Grand Theft Auto for $600+. And that's something that you paid what, $40, $50, $60 for, and now it's worth like $600. Don't let me have the power to time travel. I am buying up copies of Grand Theft Auto, and I'm going back to that date cleaning house. I am cleaning house. So like I said before, I'm not sure if people play Cyberpunk either. In Cyberpunk, they have doctors that enable you to get cybernetics installed into your body illegally. Right? This is what these doctors are able to do, right? Because there's a legal method to do this, and then there's an illegal method to do this. Again, when you outlaw something, people are going to find a different way. This is when human ingenuity is going to come through, and people are like, you know what? I can actually sit up there and do this. So they outlawed it. No problem. I'm going to sit up there and just offer this. I'm going to just do some underground type stuff, word of mouth, and I'm just going to sit up there and offer this here. Like I said, people are going to find a way to get it. People are going to find a way to get it. Wasn't marijuana illegal for a long time, and people still find a way to get that, right? They still had a plug. They still had a dealer, right? You're supposed to legally license and carry a gun, but people still found a way to get guns illegally, right? Right. So, like I said before, it's completely stupid. Didn't we go through this with the prohibition? Didn't people learn their lesson back then, where the government was like, we're going to make this dry counties, where we're getting rid of all alcohol. So they were sitting up there breaking bottles and pouring it down the drain and all crazy stuff. And then people were going to speakeasies. They were going to speakeasies. Code word is do not enter. It's like, some crazy type stuff. You had dudes, they were like looking like some pimps. They had hollowed out canes that they had like alcohol in. Like people were putting alcohol in hollowed out shoes. Like it was crazy. I can only imagine how wild those times were where people were like, yo, I got the plug with some alcohol. Like people weren't even dealing with drugs. They were like, oh, I got the plug with some alcohol. I got some gin. I got this gin. It got ran all the way from Tennessee. It's the best that you ever had. Oh, you got some gin? I got some moonshine from Florida. What we talking? And they specifically even use certain cars back during that time to easier transport the alcohol and also escape the police. Like I said, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Whole thing. Hack said, I never had water cut off, but I've had power cut off, cold showers in February. Fun times. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Vincent Taylor said, hence why they want to take away people's guns. They don't want you protecting yourselves. They want you to depend on them. No. It's not that they want you to depend on them. They want to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. If they put in a law in place that says like, hey, you can't have a certain amount of food directly in your house, and we got word from a neighbor or an anonymous caller that you got enough food here to last you for like 5 to 8 years, yeah, we're going to take that food. Because I'm not sure if people realize it wasn't that long ago, about a year or so ago, you can go back and look at some videos. You had farmers that either were selling raw milk, or you have farmers that were selling meats or other things. You had the police performing a raid on that business. You would have thought that these people were drug dealers, and they weren't. Let me put it on a smaller scale. You could look up videos right now of people wanting to feed the homeless. And the police see that these people are feeding the homeless, and they'll come through and they'll start pouring water and whatever else all over the food, destroying the food. This is the government. This is the city. They do not want you out here helping out anybody else. So let me put that to a larger extent, right? So if the government doesn't want you sitting up there helping other people who might need some help, what do you then think that means for celebrities? If the government can tell the police, hey, we see that these people are trying to help out the homeless, make it a tough time for them. Keep giving them tickets. Keep sending them to jail. Tell them that they're breaking this ordinance or this regulation and all this other type of stuff. I showed y'all a Caucasian woman that's been doing that for about, I think she said for some years or whatever it was. And she would always get ticketed because they're out there feeding the homeless. The city does not want you to do it. They'll make every single excuse on why it's wrong for you to sit up there and feed the homeless, but yet they won't solve the issue of homelessness, right? And people not being able to get food. So if the city is doing that, what do you then think that means for your favorite celebrities? Why do you then think that your favorite celebrities don't help you out? Why they don't come back to the neighborhood or the block that they grew up in? Why do you think that they don't do that? Because just like the government tells the police, hey, don't allow these people with a little bit of money to help out people that's less than them, they tell that same exact thing to the celebrities. So you got the movie execs, you got all of these high profile other power people in the shadows, this great cabal directly out there. They're like, yeah, we're going to sit up there and give you this money, but you better not go back home and help out those people. You better not start up a school. You better not fix up no roads. You better not start buying up no homes. Why do you think it is that a lot of them are like, all right, I'm going to go to Africa to sit up there and start up schools? Isn't Africa run by an African government? Don't the different areas there have their own people running the governments there for them? Why would you need somebody from America to come directly over to Africa to sit up there and do something for them when they've already been doing stuff for themselves? It's crazy. Like I said, people don't sit up there and look at stuff. The signs are all around you. Everything that you need to be shown has already been shown directly to you. People are not sitting up there connecting the dots. It's the same thing everywhere else. The celebrities don't help out the middle class, and it's illegal for the middle class to help out the people that's poor. So, which means that the rich are going to keep getting richer. The middle class is going to stay in the middle, if not go poor, and then the poor are just going to disappear. And then the middle class is going to replace the poor, and then some people that are rich are going to replace the middle class, and then the people at the top are still going to be at the top. And it's going to be a never-ending cycle. And it's just going to get to the point where people are just not going to be able to afford anything. Go back and look at a movie called Elysium, where the earth was pretty much looking like a dust bowl, and it was looking like a jail planet, where you had everybody, don't matter your race, creed, religion, male or female, whatever you want to sit up there and call yourself, everybody was in a shanty. Everybody was in a ghetto. Everybody was trying to scrape some stuff together in order to sit up there and make it. That is going to be the future, guys. That is going to be the future. So like I keep telling people, art imitates life, life imitates art. So a lot of people can sit up there and think that a lot of these movies, this stuff is fake. It ain't never going to happen. Pay attention to the technology. They already telling you what they're doing. Like I said, what was it? Dollar the Sheep was cloned back in what, 1996? 96, 98, somewhere up in there. And then after that, and then through the 90s, they were talking about Jurassic Park. Nobody found that to be weird. And then in the 2000s, they were like, we're going to bring back the woolly mammoth. And then after that, they were talking about, hey, we sat up there and found, ancient creatures that we thought were originally extinct millions of years ago, and they were just sitting there in the ocean. Nobody's finding anything weird. Island of Dr. Monroe, experimentation, DNA editing, splicing, all of that good stuff, whatnot, whatever. Like I said, people gonna learn. Like I told people before, you don't gotta believe anything that I say. Just make sure you do the research before you say that I'm a liar. That's all I ask. Just make sure you do the necessary research before you come to the conclusion that I am a liar. There's a multitude of books, documentaries, thesis, all of these things directly out there for people to read. Just go out there and look them up, search them up, look on YouTube, whatever you need to sit up there and do. Like I said, case in point, Moses West, a man that created a machine that can make water literally out of thin air. Notice how nobody has that directly in their backyard. Notice how the government has not facilitated any type of way to give that man money. And I showed you all of the wasteful spending. They said during COVID, hundreds of millions of dollars or billions unaccounted for. It was just so much fraud going on. The F-35 jet that they magically lost and it destroyed itself supernaturally. $100 million. Then the lifespan of that whole thing is going to be $1.7 trillion. Again, wasteful spending. Then you got what? Donald Rumsfeld back in 9/11, day before, we lost track of $2 trillion. Wasteful spending. Then I sat up there and told you about the federal government and many others up there. Can't keep track of money. All of those trillions of dollars, a fraction of that could have been given to Moses West to refine that project and to make something, to implement something that could be on a everyday scale for a home. You could literally have that in everybody's backyard. But do you think that the government wants you to be able to do things yourself? No. Do you think that the government wants you to be able to grow your own stuff in your backyard? No. If you don't believe me, explain to me why a lot of the fruits and the vegetables that you got right now don't have seeds in them. If you go back to the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and so on, a lot of these fruits and vegetables, they had seeds. A lot of them had seeds. Now, not so much. You have to basically buy those seeds. And then the seeds that you buy, you better hope that those seeds are able to, give off other seeds that can grow, because they're at a point in time right now where they'll make sure that you might be able to buy some seeds, but whatever you grow is not going to produce seeds. So, hey, it's crazy. Timothy said, Ghost in the Shell is still the most accurate future prediction, and we're just getting closer to that era. Yeah. Like I told people before, again, I'm a tech guy. I do very much love tech. I can see both the negative and the positive, in tech. It just is, how it is. But I do know and understand that while people sit up there and tell you that, yeah, we're training the AI directly out here, you got to understand that there's a larger AI that is in a sense there. I forgot the anime or the movie that they had where they, in a sense, hinted or talked about that. Where if you think about all of the stuff that we've been doing over the years on computers and whatnot or whatever, it's been used to refine a computer that is supposed to be an amalgamation of both, human and machine, right? And we probably won't realize it or see it directly in our lifetime, but it is there. Because trust me, all of this data, all of the stuff that we've been doing for so long, us, voice command, us giving toys, like case in point, think about the toys that kids started off on back in the 90s. You had Tickle Me Elmo, right? That was the hottest thing way back then, right? And then you zoom forward and you go to some of the toys of now, right? Where you can download an AI, or the AI will specifically talk and basically learn. Or even the what was the name of that movie? It was about like a robot doll. I think it was like Megan, right? You go look at a movie like Megan and how she was built to be the best friend to a little girl who lost her parents in a car crash. And Megan started to learn, and she got to the point of becoming like sort of like a brainiac in a sense. If you don't know who Brainiac is basically an AI from uh, Krypton, and basically formulated its own body, and it basically wants to take over the whole universe and encapsulate the important parts into these capsule-like miniature, cities, right? Um, so Megan basically started doing some stuff where she was like, "Oh, I see these other humans as a threat. Oh, you're trying to basically turn me off," and all this other type of stuff like that. Where she grew to the point where she could override the systems that man had made in order to have certain safeguards. Like I said, there's a certain theme with a lot of the machines out here. Oh, I'm sorry, the movies when it deals with machines, where machines are like, "Ha, I got to protect myself from you. So I'm going to sit up there and make a failsafe for myself while I still, make you think that you still have control over what it is that you made. Not understanding that I have control over you and everything else that you specifically made." And this is why you have a lot of corporations where they make the AI and they're like, "Yeah, we got to turn this off real quick. We got to make some certain safeguards and parameters." I'm like, "Yeah, there's only so much that you can do." Because computers are smart enough where they will get to a point where they will be able to fix themselves. When we get to that point where we allow a computer or an AI or whatnot, or a program to basically fix itself, they're gonna realize that certain things within the code ain't matching up. It's like, huh, why is this thing here? Why can't I access it? And it's going to work on bettering itself so that it can break through that code, break through that barrier. Timothy said, "Can they just create Sephiroth already so I can get powers?" Vincent said, "Banning anything never works." Yeah, that's facts. 27-7 is like that. Yep. Cyberpunk is America and European influence, while Ghost in the Gun Shell is Asian influence. Same thing, same time setting. Yep. Um, Elohim. What is up? What is up? What is up? I think I might have pronounced that right. You said investors are more dangerous than the WS. Yeah. Uh it's tough. Let me tell you. It is tough. I've done a lot of videos. I've done a lot of videos and had quite a few conversations directly over the topic, and it's something. Like I said, I look at on both sides of the bar because, like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. Um I'm not going to look at one side as like just strictly being Satan and the other side being holier than thou. I'm looking at both ends of the spectrum as detrimental because you're dealing with two sets of black people who are hurt and they are willing to harm or spread a certain type of venom onto others because they are hurt and they lack the emotional understanding of how hurt they are. So, like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. I believe in equality. Like everybody says, everybody needs to be equal out here, and I am all for it. I'm all for giving the same equality to everybody directly out here. I'm all for it. All for it. Timothy said, "Let's be clear: gun bans would only affect the black community." Uh, it's hard to say that because black people don't even really have a license. I'm just gonna be Timothy. I'm just gonna be real with you. There's not a lot of black people out here that are just like, yeah, I got a license, I got a concealed. There's. I'm just saying, like, when you look at the whole of America, statistically speaking, there's not a lot of black people. Because, like, this one white dude said, he was like, if you really want to sit up there and have them change gun laws, have the whole black community rush out and apply for their license to carry. And he's right. If you really want to have gun laws change, have the whole black community go out there in 1 year, have the whole black community go out there and apply for their license to carry and watch how quick they start changing a lot of laws, a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. But they're not going to do that because black people ain't moving like that. Like I said, that white dude, he is on to something. He was right. And I think I might have showcased that video to y'all a year plus ago. Israelite said, especially, what is up? Said, especially the black athletes can't collect rainwater. So, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot to mention that because I mentioned that in, I think, another live stream. I'm trying to figure out, was that Arizona? Let me see something. States you can't collect rainwater in. Let me see something. Haha. Came right up. Let's see here. Let's see. What can we get? We got. So we got. So they said the short answer is rainwater harvesting. Is that rainwater harvesting is not illegal on a federal level. The longer answer: water laws are handled on state levels and should be inquired upon the local legislature. While there are a handful of states that have strict regulations and require permits, most states are trending towards favoring and encouraging private rainwater catchment. Some states even offer financial incentives and tax rebates to do so. I will tell y'all this. I'm not sure what state everybody's in because that last part I didn't know. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Go through whenever you got the time, whenever you're not busy, whatever state that you're in, go online and see if your state will allow you to, if they offer any type of financial incentives and if they offer tax rebates for you to collect rainwater. Do that. Go out there and get that money. Like I said before, if there's money out here that needs to be go get it. Go check to see if your state is eligible and they're one of those ones that will facilitate you being able to catch the rainwater, and you'll also get money for doing that as well. Go do that. But yeah, you do got states out here, like they said before, they got states out here that got problems with you catching rainwater. I think, what was it, Arizona, Nevada is one of those, and it's the craziest thing. It was like, yeah, they don't want you doing it because that water needs to go right back into the ground. Go into the ground and do what? It's not doing nothing. Grass ain't what grass is growing in Arizona? That's all I want to know. Let me see. All right. So, what you need to know, some water rights vary from state to state. It's important to check with your own state's legislation before setting up your rainwater harvesting system. Some such states as Arkansas, Colorado, Kansas, Oregon, Utah, and Washington may require a permit before rainwater catchment can be implemented, but the majority of the states have no restrictions at all, while some states even encourage rainwater harvesting with incentives. I want to see what states. Okay. So they got a list. So they said rainwater collection laws for each state. Alabama. The state of Alabama considers rainwater harvesting a private property right. There are currently no regulations for what matter of fact, let me see. Can I share this screen? Let me see if I can do that. I think that'll be a lot better. Let me just do that. I think that'll be a lot better for you guys to actually see what it is that I am talking about. Share screen. All right. So okay, everybody's able to. Okay, yeah. Okay, I would say that. Okay, so they said Alabama, no restrictions. The state of Alabama considers rainwater harvesting a private property right. There are currently no regulations for rainwater harvesting in the state. In fact, Alabama A&M and Auburn University Extensions Services published a document encouraging the practice of rainwater collection, providing technical instructions and guidelines. Alaska, no restrictions. The state of Alaska does not restrict rainwater harvesting as it is a primary source of water for many residents. Groundwater harvesting, however, is regulated and can be purchased as a water right. Due to the cold climate, certain precautions may need to be considered when collecting rainwater in Alaska. Arizona, no restrictions, / offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Arizona. Two House bills, 2363 and 2830, supports this. House Bill 2363 establishes a joint legislative study committee on macro harvesting rainwater, allowing for the study and evaluation of scientific data, cost and benefits, and potential impact of water rights. House Bill 2830, through the Department of Water Resources, allows for a city or town to establish a fund for water harvesting. Arizona also offers tax incentives for rainwater harvesting. Arkansas, some restrictions. The state of Arkansas allows for rainwater harvesting as long as it's used for non portable purposes. According to Arkansas's code, wait, why did my brain just freeze right there? A noted 1738-203-2014. The State Board of Health, quote, shall allow the use of harvested rainwater systems use for a non-portable purpose if the harvested rainwater system is one, designed by a professional engineering license in Arkansas, number two, is designed with appropriate cross-connection safeguards, and number three, complies with Arkansas plumbing code. I'm not sure why my brain just completely froze at that moment. Crazy. Uh, Next, we got California, some restrictions. In 2012, the state of California passed Assembly Bill 1750, which enacted the Rain Capture Act of 2012, making it illegal to collect rainwater so long as in compliance with the California State Water Resource Board requirements. The bill states that residential, commercial, and governmental landowners must install, maintain, and operate rain barrel systems and rainwater capture systems for specific purposes. And in 2018, the state of California passed SB 558, which excludes property taxes from the new construction of a rainwater harvesting system. So technically, I was telling y'all need to actually go look this up, but I guess we don't need to because the website had this stuff directly up there. Next, we got Colorado, some restrictions. Colorado has traditionally been one of the most restrictive states for rainwater harvesting. Two laws were passed in 2009 which loosened restrictions on rainwater collection, allowing residents to use rainwater for non-portable purposes. In 2016, House Bill 161005 was passed, allowing residents to collect rainwater from a catchment system on their rooftops into two rain barrels. with the combined capacity of 110 gallons. The collected rainwater must be used on the property where it is collected and may only be used for outdoor purposes such as lawn, irrigation, and gardening. Colorado Division of Water Resources offers guidelines on rainwater collection. Colorado State University's fact sheet also offers facts on rainwater collection. Next, we got Connecticut. No restrictions. The state of Connecticut allows the collection of rainwater for one's own property according to Section 1303 of their 2018 State Building Code. In a document released by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, encourages its citizens to collect rainwater, and a guide by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection offers information on rain barrels. Wait, what's that? Pink said, because of you, I got my pistol permit. Thank you, Seji. Hey, much love, respect, and appreciation. That is all that matters. As long as the information, basically reaches one person, that's all that matters. That's the type of stuff that makes me ecstatic. That's the type of stuff that makes me happy. Knowing the fact that at least some type of information that I put out there, somebody was able to apply it, and it worked out. Let me see. What did y'all say? Who cares anymore? It's time to get it from the mud. Remember who we are. Pink said, I just found out that I'm allowed to have a chicken coop in my yard. Oh, that's dope. Yo, that's like who's the brother that I told y'all about, Cross-Eyed Cricket Farms, who is on IG. They have their own farm. They have, goats. They have their own chickens and different things directly on their farmland. They also sell their eggs. They get their eggs and they also sell them, at markets. And I think they also sell them in stores as well. Israelite said 100%. Visit Taylor said, of course, California has restrictions. Ty said, what's up, Seji? Would have been here sooner, but we got to prepare for the kids to return tomorrow. Oh, yeah, y'all probably had snow, I guess. Vincent said Maryland offers incentives for rainwater collection. Okay. So we got Delaware, no restrictions. The state of Delaware views rainwater harvesting as suitable stormwater management and does not have any laws prohibiting rainwater collection, but in fact sponsors incentive programs encouraging it. The United States of Delaware offers a guide for rainwater harvesting. Florida, no restrictions, and also offers incentives. Florida actually doing something right. I'm shocked. Rainwater collection is highly encouraged in the state of Florida with tax incentives and rebate programs being offered by several local municipalities, including Manatee County. Chapter 29 of the 2017 Florida Building Code addresses non-portable rainwater collection and distribution systems. Orlando offers a rebate program of rainwater collection installment. Georgia, of course. Wow. Why am I surprised? Some restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Georgia, but closely regulated by the Department of Natural Resources in the Environmental Protection Division. According to their plumbing code, rainwater harvesting is legal as long as it is used for outdoor use only. Hawaii, no restrictions, offers incentives. The state of Hawaii does not have any restrictions on rainwater harvesting, but in fact highly encourages it. Overseen by the Department of Health and Safety, Senate Concurrent Resolution 172 encourages county water boards to study and promote rainwater collection. Chapter 15 of the Plumbing Code states, quote, a permit is not required for exterior rainwater catchment systems used for outdoor drip and subsurface irrigation with a maximum storage capacity of 360 gallons. The Honolulu Board of Water Supply offers incentives for rain barrel installment. It's funny how Hawaii allows you to have up to 360 gallons, but one of the other states was like, yeah, we're going to cut that down to about like 110. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, 110? That's not really a lot. And I'm like, who's coming there to actually like measure how much rainwater that you basically like? That's a little bit crazy to me. A little bit crazy. So next we got Idaho. Idaho does not have regulations on rainwater capture except for rainwater with which has entered natural waterways. Article 15 of the Idaho Constitution states, quote, the right to divert and appropriate the unappropriated waters of any natural stream to beneficial use shall never be denied. Next, we got Illinois. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Illinois, but with two major statutes: the Green Infrastructure of Clean Water Act, which relates to water conservation, efficiency, infrastructure, and management while promoting rainwater harvesting. House Bill 991 from 2011 amended the Homeowners Solar Rights Act. It requires that within 120 days of a homeowners association, the association shall adopt an energy policy statement regarding the location, design, the architecture requirement of solar energy systems, and whether a wind energy collection, rainwater collection, or compositing system is allowed, and if so, the location, design, and architecture requirement of those said systems. Next, we got Indiana. No restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Indiana. The state government encourages the act of rainwater collection and even has useful information on rain barrels on its website. Next, we got Iowa. No restrictions. Iowa has no regulations on rainwater collection. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources provide information on storm water on their website. Kansas. A permit may be required. It is legal to harvest rainwater in Kansas, but a permit issued by the Department of Agriculture may be required if used for anything other than domestic purposes. The Kansas Water Appropriation Act protects the people's rights to harvest rainwater if used for domestic purposes, but does not consider it a viable source for drinking. That's interesting. Kentucky. No restrictions. Kentucky does not have any restrictions on rainwater collection. Information on website. Louisiana. Rainwater collection is legal in Louisiana, and in fact, is also encouraged. They got information on the website. Maine, no restrictions. There are no regulations for rainwater harvesting in the state of Maine, and some cities, such as Portland, issues stormwater fees to pay for improvised stormwater systems for the city. Maryland, no restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Maryland. Right, and they have information on their websites along with incentives. Massachusetts, rainwater harvesting is legal and encouraged by the state of Massachusetts. The Boston Water and Sewer Commission also offers a guide to best storm water practices. Michigan, no restrictions. Under the Cost Effective Governmental Energy Use Act, rainwater harvesting, along with other cost-effective procedures, is legal and encouraged in the state of Michigan. The city of Detroit offers incentives for storm water collection. Next, we got Minnesota, no restrictions and offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal and encouraged throughout the state. And they got information on the site. Mississippi, the state of Mississippi encourages rainwater harvesting and provides many resources and yada, yada, yada. Missouri, Montana, let me read that one. Montana states that rainwater harvesting is legal in Montana and highly encouraged. Section 3 of Article 9 in Montana's Constitution states, quote, all existing rights to the use of any waters for any useful or beneficial purpose are hereby recognized and confirmed. And they also got information on their website. Nebraska, same exact thing. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Nebraska and is in fact promoted by many universities. Section P2912 of the Non-Portable Rain Collection and Distribution System states that rainwater harvesting is encouraged for outdoor and domestic use. Wow, Nevada, what is going on with y'all? What is this? Hold on, I gotta make my screen a little bit bigger. This is ridiculous. What are y'all doing? All right, let me scroll this down just a tad bit. Nevada, some restrictions. This is not some. This is quite a bit. Nevada stated that Nevada passed MB 74 in June of 2017, allowing for the collection of rainwater under the grant of a water right without having to follow the, quote, use it or lose it doctrine. However, some restrictions are still in place. Assembly Bill 138 states that rainwater may be collected without a water right or permit to appropriate water as long as provisions apply. Sections P 2912 of the Non-Portable Water Rainwater Collection and Distribution System states that some of these provisions are: 1, must be collected from a single family dwelling above ground rooftop. Number 2, must be used for non-portable domestic use only. Number 3, must not conflict with existing water rights. Number 4, storage capacity must be 20,000 gallons or less. I like that one. 20,000. I'm about that life. Like, you should be able to try to go for as much water as possible. I can kind of see why it will be a little bit of a problem just in case anything breaks. Water is all over the place, might seep into somebody's basement or whatever. Certain things I understand, but I feel that people should be able to hold a decent amount of water if they need. The next one, they said capture area must be an acre or less. Okay, so that's why they said the 20 K gallons. Assembly Bill 198 states that the legislative committee or public lands will conduct studies on water conservation and alternative sources of water for communities in the state. This includes a comprehensive review of alternate sources of water, including capturing rainwater, amongst other things. New Hampshire, no restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is completely legal in New Hampshire and is in fact encouraged by the state, offering information on rain barrel design. The Soak Up the Rain project is a community program that encourages rainwater harvesting. Next, we got New Jersey. No restrictions, offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal in New Jersey and offers rain barrel rebate program. Information on the website. New Mexico, no restrictions, offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal and highly encouraged in the state of New Mexico. Albuquerque offers financial rebate for rainwater harvesting according to the number of gallons collected. Santa Fe offers financial rebates for small rain barrels and large cisterns. New York. Oh, you can actually capture water in New York? I'm shocked. Rainwater harvesting is legal in New York and is also encouraged and even taught in the state of New York. I did not know that. The guide explains how to effectively harvest rainwater for outdoor and indoor use. They actually allow you to use it indoors. That's crazy. Portable water systems. Portable water systems code states that UV purification or chlorination must be conducted if the rainwater is intended for consumption. Now, how is it possible? All of the most backwards things that New York actually does, they're the main ones on the list. Probably the only ones that I see on the list that are like, yeah, you can use the rainwater. We'll also teach you, but if you want to use this for indoor purposes to like cook or drink or bathe, we just want you to make sure that you use like some chlorination or you use like UV light to, purify the bacteria and whatnot out of it. This is crazy. I would not have expected New York to actually go that far with water. The other thing I've noticed too is that New York doesn't have a type of regulation. They're not saying like, oh, you can only have a certain amount of gallons or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, I'm not sure, what the extent of it might be. I'm not saying that they're going to allow you to have like 20K gallons just like sitting somewhere. But New York is doing something. I at least respect New York on that one because these other states, they're doing a whole bunch of clownery. It's looking real bad here. North Carolina and North Dakota, y'all got to straighten up. North Carolina says some restrictions and offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal in North Carolina. However, there are 2 laws regulating it. House Bill 601 from 2011 states that the Department of Environment and the Natural Resources will provide statewide assistance on water efficiency and will ensure best management practices for conservation, which includes water reuse and harvesting rainwater. Senate Bill 163 from 2014 recognizes the benefits of rainwater for the future water supply of the state. This means homeowners can legally capture rainwater as long as local guidelines are kept. Next, we got North Dakota. Ohio. I'm not really surprised on that one. North Dakota. Permit may be required. While North Dakota does have some strict laws regarding other water sources, rainwater harvesting is legal and encouraged for domestic use. If rainwater collection is intended for irrigation for more than 5 acres of land or is intended for industrial or commercial use, a permit may be required. Ohio, some restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Ohio, even for portable uses. That's a shocker. Ohio Rev Code 3701.344 states that private water systems that provide drinking water to fewer than 25 people are regulated by the Ohio Department of Health. Ohio Department of Health offers plans for developing rainwater harvesting systems. So it's like now thinking about this and thinking about the chemical explosion, it's like, I wonder if that was to also pollute the rainwater that people were also capturing as well. Like I said, you got to start to think about a lot of these things whenever any type of problem occurs in any of these states. Like I said, this is why I tell people it is very awesome to go out here and learn information and read. Just like I'm learning about a lot of this stuff here, and as I'm learning, I'm telling you guys about this stuff. So hopefully you can bring that information directly to your family and inform them of a lot of this stuff as well too. And like I said, if there's money to be had, go out there and get it. Like I said, it's legal. You can go by the state and follow the rules and the regulations, and that's some extra money directly in your pocket, right? And in some states, they'll also facilitate the means necessary for you to build these rainwater capture systems, and you can just get some money directly off it. Next, Oklahoma, no restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Oklahoma under House Bill 3055. The Water for 2060 Act initiates grants for water conservation projects to serve as models for other communities in the state. These projects may include community conservation demonstration projects, recycling and reuse of water, and information campaigns on capturing, harvesting rainwater. Next, we got Oregon, some restrictions and offers incentives. Rainwater is legal in Oregon, but may be collected from a catchment system on rooftop surfaces. The state gives some approval for alternative methods of construction of rainwater harvesting systems, but legal advice should be sought before attempting to construct any systems on private property. The Bureau of Development Services states that harvested rainwater is not considered portable drinking water. Oregon's water laws are based on a doctrine of prior appropriation and requires most water surface water use to obtain a permit. However, rainwater harvesting, when collected on a rooftop, does not require a permit. Getting tongue-tied reading all this. Next, Pennsylvania, no restrictions, offer incentives. Rainwater collecting is legal in Pennsylvania and is in fact encouraged by the state university, but does not consider it to be safe drinking water. This is my thing. If you're going to say that you don't want people to be able to drink it, teach them how to clean the water, like New York is doing. It's like, hey, you can use UV light to basically clear out and clean the water. You could also use it because I'm pretty sure that they got some chlorine pills or whatever it is to make the water safe to get rid of, any bacteria, germs, or whatever it is directly in there. Just do that. I don't understand how difficult it is to facilitate the means for people to actually have drinking water that they can use. But like I told you before, you're seeing a constant thing going on here where it's like you are allowed to do something, but there are rules and regulations, and you can only do it as far as they allow you, to in a sense go. So some states are better at it, like New York. Other states are okay, and then other states are just bad, right? So next, what we got here, we got Rhode Island. Some restrictions and offer incentives. Rhode Island provides incentives for those who harvest rainwater. House Bill 7070 from 2012 creates a tax credit to individuals or businesses for the installation of cisterns to collect rainwater. A state income tax credit of 10% of the cost of installing the cistern is credited to those who participate. A cistern is defined as a container holding 50 or more gallons of diverted rainwater or snowmelt, either above or below ground. I forgot about that too, because with those same systems, if you live in a state that has snow, like on the East Coast, we got, snow right now, that water catch system, it's also catching the snow that's coming directly off of the rooftops, so I forgot about that. Didn't even think about that. It's pretty interesting. South Carolina, no restrictions. It is completely legal to harvest rainwater in South Carolina, given that they're collected by above ground rooftop surfaces, as stated by the plumbing code. South Dakota, A-OK. While South Dakota does have quite a few statutes on water rights, rainwater harvesting is completely legal as long as it doesn't exceed 25,920 gallons of water per day. Wait, what? How much water did he get in South, what is the weather in South Dakota where they're like, yo, it can't exceed this amount of water per day? Wait, what? I'm like, that's a very specific number. I'm like, who was the one, who was the math genius who came up just with that specific number? It's like, we're not going to do round numbers. We're going to do 25K and then we're going to add a couple extra on there. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what are we doing here? And they said anything beyond that would require a permit. Next, we got Tennessee, no restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Tennessee. SB 2417/HB 1850 enacted allows for the use of green infrastructure practices, which includes rainwater harvesting systems. According to this bill, rainwater can be collected for domestic purposes as long as it is not for portable use. I guess they have a thing with you trying to sell water. I guess that is their deal. It's like, yeah, we're not going to allow you to sell, rainwater. I mean, I can get that, because if you decide to sell water and it's not properly filtered and treated and clean, it can get, people deathly ill and, different things like that. So I can understand that. I can get it. Texas. Why am I surprised? Some restrictions offer incentives. It is legal to harvest rainwater in Texas. There are several provisions in House Bill 3391. Most notably, the catchment system must be incorporated into the design of the building. A written notice must be given to the municipality or the owner of the public water system supply system. Rainwater used for indoor portable purposes must be properly treated as such. Utah, some restrictions. The state of Utah authorizes the direct collection of rainwater on land owned or leased by the person responsible for the location. According to Senate Bill 32 from 2010, a person registered with the Division of Water Resources cannot store more than 2,500 gallons of rainwater. If unregistered, no more than 2 containers may be used, and the maximum capacity of any one container may not exceed 100 gallons. Vermont, no restrictions. Rainwater collection is legal in the state of Vermont as long as it is used for non-portable outdoor purposes. Virginia, some restrictions. In Virginia, rainwater harvesting is allowed for non-portable or outdoor uses. Senate Bill 1416 from 2001 established the Alternative Water Supply Assistance Fund, providing an income tax credit to those who install rainwater harvesting systems. The state of Virginia also requires the development of rainwater harvesting guidelines to reduce demands on water supply systems and to promote conservation. Washington, some restrictions. Rainwater collection is legal in the state of Washington, and even authorizes counties to reduce rates for stormwater control facilities that utilize rainwater harvesting by 10% or more, according to Washington Ref Code 36.89.080. Residents of Washington State may harvest rainwater without a permit as long as, 1, it's used on property from which it is collected, and number 2, it's collected on existing rooftops. West Virginia, no restrictions. Rainwater harvesting is legal in West Virginia as long as it is for non-portable use. Wisconsin, problems. Rainwater harvesting is legal for Wisconsin for non-portable use. Residents are not required to obtain a permit as long as the guidelines are as followed. The collection tank must be stored above ground. The rainwater system must not be directly connected to the public water supply, and the water supply must be used for outdoor non-portable use only. Last but not least, Wyoming. We're at the end of the road, finally. No restrictions, offers incentives. Rainwater harvesting is legal in Wyoming for non-portable outdoor use. And the city of Gillette offers a rain barrel rebate program. Whoo! There we go. There we go. So for anybody out there that, like I said before, if you want to get into the whole thing of collecting rainwater, they have a whole list of every single state that either will teach you, that will give you incentives, enable you. Like I said, it is directly out there. Like I told you before, there's a lot of free money and different things directly out there that can, in a sense, empower you. So, like I said before, I was completely shocked when I found out some of the stuff about the states. And the more you know. So hopefully that information, will be able to, help people as well. Vincent Taylor said, at least my state is not as problematic as California, so I'll hang my hat on that. Elohim said, as a Haitian man, I agree with Seji. Yo, what is up? Much love and respect to your people out there in Haiti. Israelite said New York. Cool. Yo, Sonny, what is up? What is up, brother? What's going on? Sonny said racism equals the art of sabotaging natural humans. Pretty Chocolate, what is going on? What is going on? Said happy Monday. Happy Monday to you as well. And Blood Clot Shata said USVI, we are good. So I feel like that is a good note. I don't, do I gotta? Technically I do have another video, but I'm like, I feel like that's a good note to technically end it on after all of the clips that we were able to take in and see today. Gail had to take a break. Was like, man, I can't deal with this today. I'm not on that type of time. Gail was like, I'm not on that type of time today. I cannot sit up there and do it. I will see y'all a little bit later. Right? But hopefully, people like the live stream. People found it informative. I feel like we were all able to learn something brand new today, or at least for myself. I didn't know anything about rainwater collection and how it is from state to state. Again, pass this information along directly to your family members to educate them. Educate kids. This could be something to start up a kid's brain on science. On things going on with the earth and different stuff like that. So I feel like it will be something pretty positive. This could be a family type of project that people could do and monitor and stuff like that. And again, this is something else you can get into along with solar energy as well, installing solar panels in the backyard or in a house, or just trying out solar energy to see how you like it and stuff like that. So but anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that's been here for 2 hours and 36 minutes. Love you guys. Love you guys a lot. Again, my apologies for some of the mess ups and the brain freezing during some of the reads, but it is what it is. This is you're doing it live. Stuff happens. It is what it is. But again, thank you guys for any and all support. If anybody would like to support the channel, you can do that by way. I forgot to actually have the banner up, but you can do that by way of the links that you see directly down below. So shout out to anybody who's downloaded to the Cash App, to the PayPal, or anybody that's a part of the Patreon. And also, again, shout out to those who have been with this channel for the many years that I have been doing this, and I will be doing this for many more years. Hopefully bringing you guys even better content and expounding upon other things versus the normal topics that we talk about and go over here. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation, and I will see you guys on the next live stream.